Hey guys, we have an equation here. We're being asked to graph the parabola that goes along with this equation, right? We are currently in, actually, this is really standard form and vertex form now that I'm looking at it. So, whatever you want to call it. We're going to think of it as being in vertex form, okay? If you need some videos on standard form, I'll link one in the corner for you, okay? So the good news about when we graph these is we have what we call a parent graph, okay? If you were just being asked to graph y equals x squared, this is what it would look like, okay? But we're not being asked to graph y equals x squared. We are being asked to graph y equals x squared plus 2, okay? Well, guess what? These two graphs are the same. It's just going to be shifted a little for this one, and we'll talk about how you can tell where it's shifted, okay? So, where is my paper? Hold on. Okay, I found my paper. Okay, so vertex form. If there is a number, okay, this is where it's kind of funny because we don't have these parentheses, okay? But you could think of it as, hold with me, x minus 0 squared, right? That's kind of how we're thinking of it right now to help us see it in vertex form, okay? So if you have a number out front, in front of these parentheses, that number affects if the parabola opens up or down. If it's positive, it opens up. If it's negative, it opens down like a frowny face. And then if it is a number or a fraction, it affects the graph, okay? So remember my parent graph here, okay? And then I'm going to show you this. So this blue is that same parent graph I just showed you. If you look at the green, there's a 4 out front, and you see how the parabola for that equation is a lot like taller and skinnier, you could say, okay? And then the red one has a fraction out front, 1/4, and you see how it's like wider, and you'll hear the word compressed a lot of the time. It's compressed. So that is how the number out front affects it. Obviously, this one doesn't have it. I'll link a video for you in the corner where I do one like this. But I did want to mention it because it's kind of important, right? Okay, then we have this number, okay? In this case, we're looking at it as a 0, right? So that tells you how much your graph shifts to either the right or the left. So obviously for this example, since it's a 0, it's not going to shift to the right or left at all. If there was a number there, just an important note to take is that you do actually the opposite of the sign, okay? If it was -2, you would go to the right 2, okay? If it was +5, you would go to the left 5, okay? But in this case, it's a 0, so my graph is not going to shift to the right or left at all, okay? Now we have the k. That's the number being added or subtracted on the back, okay? And this one, you stick with the sign, and it tells you how far the graph is shifted up or down, okay? So since I've got a +2, that means my parent graph is going to be shifted up 2, okay? So on my parent graph, the vertex was at 0, 0, right? For this one, I'm going to shift it up 2. Okay, look at that. Now, some teachers will probably be fine with you just showing where the vertex is and drawing a U showing it goes up, okay? I'm going to plug in a point just to give us another reference point, literally, to see kind of how our parabola is. The more and more you do this, you might just kind of know where the points are and such, but for now, we're going to plug one in. So I'm going to plug in 1 for x and see what we get for y, okay? So y equals, we're going to plug in 1 for x, so 1 squared plus 2, okay? 1 squared is 1 plus 2, so I end up with y equals 3, okay? So we plugged in 1 for x, got 3 for y. So that point will be right there, okay? Now I could go ahead and plug in -1 as well to get a point on the other side, but guess what? Parabolas are what we call symmetrical, meaning they're the same on both sides. So if I plug in -1, I'm gonna get 3, okay? So it's gonna be right there. You can kind of think of it as there's a mirror at the vertex, okay? So there we go. Now, it's not going to be a straight line. That's for absolute value. A parabola has a curved line, right? So it's gonna look a little something like that. That's not perfect, but I think you get the idea. Okay, hope this made sense. If you need some other examples where I do have a number that's not zero inside there or something, I will link a whole playlist of parabola videos for you. Okay, thanks, bye.